How's it going, everyone? Rosalind here. Today, I'm going to be going over my top tips for Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. But rather than bore you with an overly wordy intro, and because I just really can't think of anything, let's just jump right into things with tip number 1. Talk to everyone. While this is a staple for pretty much all JRPGs, it's especially important here in Eiyuden Chronicle. Some of the generic looking NPCs can potentially give you cooking recipes or other items, they can play minigames with you, they can even trigger events to recruit new party members. But the most important reason to talk to everyone, and it also has to deal with recruiting party members, is to look for NPCs with portraits, and that's because these NPCs that have portraits are potential recruits for your army. When you encounter an NPC like this, it's a good idea to take notes, things like where you met them, their gender, their race, of course their name, if they're looking for something or somebody, basically anything you think could be potentially useful. A lot of them will join you right then and there on the spot, but some of them will have special requirements that you need to meet before they'll join, and that's why we're taking these notes. The more people that you recruit, the stronger your army will be, and the more facilities that will become available at your headquarters. It's also a good idea to return to places you've been before after major story events or after you've upgraded your headquarters level. Both of these things will often cause new recruitable NPCs to show up that weren't there previously. This will involve some legwork early on, but becomes much easier once you recruit carry and gain the ability to teleport to previous locations. It's also a good idea while you're walking around places looking for new recruits to make sure that you are checking everywhere. Some recruitable NPCs won't initially be visible and will only trigger once you've gotten close enough to specific areas on the map. An early example of this is Malor, whose event triggers when walking down the center street in Eltisweiss, and the aforementioned Carrie, whose event triggers by walking near and over bridges multiple times in the city of Haishan. Oh, and it's not just previous areas that you'll want to check for new recruits after major story events and upgrading your headquarters. You'll also want to just check around your actual headquarters, as new recruitable NPCs will show up there as well. It's a good idea to regularly walk around your castle and town just to check and see if anyone new has shown up, as you may just find them lying on the ground. Literally. Now, while you're recruiting all these new people into your army, you may find someone you like and want to try out in battle, only for them to be quite a bit lower level than you. But this isn't something you really need to worry about, because with the way that Eiyuden Chronicle's experience system works, lower level characters will rapidly level up to within a few levels of your party in only a few battles. So don't be afraid to bring in new people and try them out just because they're at a lower level. They'll catch up in no time. And speaking of party members, let's shift focus away from recruitment and onto combat and begin by talking about positioning, as your character's position in your party is very important. This is because different characters have different ranges, and just like how your party has a front row and a back row, so do enemies. You can tell a character's range by looking at their weapon on the status screen. Beside their damage type, you'll see either short, medium, or long, referring to short range, medium range, and long range. Characters with a short range can only attack the row directly in front of them, necessitating that they be placed in the front row of your party. Characters with a medium range can attack up to 2 rows in front of them. This means that if they are placed in the front row, they can hit both the front and back row enemies. But it also means that if they are placed in your back row, they can still hit the enemy's front row. And finally, characters with a long range can hit 3 rows in front of them, basically meaning they can hit any enemy. Be sure to keep this all in mind when choosing who to bring in your party and where to put them. Sticking with the theme of combat, speed is an incredibly important stat. It affects the turn order in battle, and in general, the higher your character's speed, the better. Faster characters will act before the enemy, allowing you to either take out all enemies before they get an action, or to at the very least whittle down their numbers. A faster character can also help out with emergency healing on a low HP party member so that they don't die before your healer can get to them. But while a high speed stat is important, it's also important to have at least one character who is slow in your party. The main reason for this has to deal with boss gimmicks, and there is an early boss fight that highlights why one slow character can be advantageous. In this fight, the boss will attempt to trigger the battle's gimmick to deal damage to your party. If all of your characters happen to be faster than the boss, you will always be hit by this gimmick. But if one of your party members is slower than the boss, then you can have that character trigger the gimmick after the boss does, so that it deals damage to them instead, without the boss being able to switch it back onto you. Because of this, I try to keep 5 of my party members either really quick or relatively quick, with one of them being on the slower end. So my final tip is to recruit both Francesca and Falward, but there's a lot going on as to why. In Eiyuden Chronicle, both inventory space and MP are restricted resources. You only have 30 available item slots for a good chunk of the game, and MP can only be restored by using items or resting at an inn. Because of this, it can be a bit of a balancing act when deciding how many healing items to bring along with you, when to use them, and when to use your precious MP. Enter Francesca and Falward. These two have an excellent hero combo together that heals the entire party while also providing a 3-turn attack buff for the cost of 3 SP each. This hero combo is especially helpful during boss battles where enough turns pass that they will be able to build up enough SP to effectively fire off this party-wide HP heal multiple turns in a row, all at the cost of 0 MP and no items. But you can also use this hero combo as a way to simply conserve MP and items while exploring the overworld and in dungeons. What you want to do is get the enemy down to only 1 enemy left. Then you just guard on everyone until Francesca and Falward have 3 SP each, and then finally you use the hero combo to fully heal everyone and finish off the enemy on the same turn, something that is helped out by Falward's unnaturally high speed, almost guaranteeing that the hero combo happens first. Now, you may be a little bit apprehensive to using both Francesca and Falward in the same party, as the game does introduce them both as healers, but that's actually not really an issue as you can easily swap out either of their runes for an offensive one instead, and convert them into an offensive mage. So how do you actually recruit these two? Well, Francesca can be recruited as soon as you are told by Ymir to find more party members for the watch. Simply go to the village of Aldverden, go left at the 2nd street until you trigger a cutscene, and she'll join you right after. For Falward, you'll want to go back to Aldverden after you have unlocked your headquarters, and then you want to go into the building that was near where you found Francesca in order to find Falward inside. Talk to him to initiate a cutscene, and then he'll request 15 healing herbs, which you can purchase from the shop in town if you don't have them on you already. Simply give him those 15 healing herbs, and then he'll join your party. And that'll do it for my top tips for Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. If you have any questions about this video, Eiyuden Chronicle, or any other game that I cover, feel free to hit me up over on Twitch at twitch.tv/RoslinGaming, or my Discord server, both of which are linked in the video description below. Until next time, take care.